Hello and welcome back to your Wellbeing Wednesday tip of the week. Let me ask you a question. Would you ever say to a child that they were fat, ugly, or a failure? Would you ever say that to your friend, or your sister, or your dog? No, likely not. That would be a form of bullying. Yet, I bet we've all said a form of that, if not worse, to ourselves at several points in our life. On these videos, I often mention self-talk and how the way we think impacts the way we act, and how the way we act largely determines how our life unfolds. But I haven't yet delved into the world of self-criticism and how self-compassion is not a nice to have, but a necessity that helps us to live a full and happy life. So let's take a look into the world of self-compassion and its arch enemy, self-criticism. The most important words you'll ever say are the words you say to yourself. More often than not, people believe that self-criticism is a necessary precursor to self-development. Although a healthy amount of self-evaluation is important for your growth, bathing yourself in self-criticism day in and day out will only mean that we build a life based on shaky and unstable foundations. Self-compassion, therefore, is about building a way to communicate and relate to yourself that is based on kindness and acceptance. When you build a strong practice of self-compassion, you're able to build a life that improves your sense of emotional well-being, improves your sense of connection, and improves your sense of self. Harvard Medical School found that self-compassion has a lot of health benefits. In fact, one of its strong benefits is that it helps to reduce anxiety and depression. Not only that, people who are self-compassionate are able to notice when they're suffering and therefore be kind to themselves as they move through it, thereby reducing the length of time they experience anxiety and depression. Self-compassion is not a nice to have. For some people, it is easier to learn, but the important thing to remember is self-compassion is a learnable skill. So let's look at some ways we can build this magical skill of self-compassion. Harvard psychologist Christopher Germer, in his book A Mindful Path to Self-Compassion, wrote about a variety of ways we can help to build this skill. I'm going to give you 3 to start. Number 1, comfort your body in whatever way your body needs in that moment. Learn how to comfort yourself. Maybe it's eating healthily. Maybe it's going for a walk. Maybe it's massaging your own feet, your own hands, your own shoulders. Maybe it's doing yoga. Whatever it is, give yourself time to nurture your body and show yourself how much you love you. Number 2, write yourself a letter. Now, this may feel a bit weird at first, but trust me, it's a really powerful tool. When something difficult happens to you, take some time to write a letter about your experiences. Don't point any blame at yourself or any others, just explain how you feel. Give yourself that space to validate your emotions. And number 3, encourage yourself. When you're going through something difficult, encourage yourself to keep going. Tell yourself you're doing really well. Think, what would you say to a friend in a difficult time? Yeah, you've guessed it, then say those things to yourself. If you take this time now to rewire your habits, so that when you're going through difficult times, you are your own rock instead of your own worst critic. Then you will see that happiness is homemade. Well, that's it from me today. Have a wonderful week. Comment below. I'd love to hear what resonated with you. And as always, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plenty more videos to come where we look at how you can think, feel and act in a way that allows you to get the most out of this life. See you next week.